What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys new here, you just got to subscribe. So, new Marvel update for the Avengers Doomsday. Apparently, we might be getting a new Iron Man and Black Panther. I didn't know that. I didn't know all this happened. So our friend Cosmic wanted to just drop the video for us for the Marvel update for the Avengers Doomsday, which it hits in theaters December 18th, I believe, of 2026. So we're about to go ahead and jump in and see what's the update. So let's check this out.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. Lots of Marvel news to go over today. You might have heard that Marvel Studios is not attending San Diego Comic-Con this year, which might have come as a pretty big shock a couple of weeks ago. But since Marvel Studios just changed up their release schedule, pushing back Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, it's not so surprising. We also have news about another new Avengers team. Now, this specific Avengers team is an Avengers team from a different universe, not our main 616 universe. So we're not talking about Sam Wilson's Avengers team or Yelena's Avengers team, which is also the Thunderbolts, of course. This is a completely new one. And a new report that kind of goes hand in hand with this new Avengers team from a different universe is that we're going to see another Black Panther in Avengers Doomsday. And if the timeline is still the same in the MCU, which we assume it is not T'Challa's son, T'Challa II. It's a completely different Black Panther who is most likely going to be a variant. So like I said, a lot to dive into today. And if you're new and you love Marvel, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. So like I said, there are two different reports that do say a new Black Panther is going to show up in Avengers Doomsday, but the first one is coming from the scooper My Time to Shine Hello. According to her, a second Black Panther is reportedly set to appear in Avengers Doomsday. Now, we've been hearing for a while now from a lot of different insiders that Marvel Studios does intend on introducing a new Black Panther. Shuri is our Black Panther right now, but basically what we've heard is Marvel Studios does intend on essentially recasting T'Challa. Originally, Kevin Feige decided not to do that to honor Chadwick Boseman's legacy, and while Chadwick Boseman was indeed amazing, we definitely miss him, and we can understand why Kevin Feige decided to do that. The importance of the character of T'Challa is being stressed by a very large amount of people who, even though they did love Chadwick Boseman, still want them to actually recast T'Challa to have a T'Challa and Black Panther in the MCU. So it looks like Marvel Studios has kind of decided that as well, possibly even changing their minds after they heard all of the fans. Now here's where it gets a little confusing when it comes to a new Black Panther. Obviously Shuri, who is the current Black Panther, is going to be in Doomsday, and we assume in Secret Wars as well. And we don't know when Black Panther 3 is going to be released. Denzel Washington and Ryan Coogler have both confirmed it is happening. We just don't know when. But either way, it does look like Marvel Studios is intending on using the multiverse to give us a new T'Challa. And honestly, it works. It's a good plan, especially with this other report and the reboot coming up. Because according to this other report, we are getting a new Avengers team from a different universe, and Black Panther is going to be a part of that team. This report is coming from the insider James Mackwell, who was the person who leaked the script for Multiverse of Madness before it was released, and when it was released, it was all confirmed to be true. Sticking with Black Panther, James mentioned a new Avengers team and Black Panther was going to be one of those characters. And we assume Black Panther is T'Challa. So that's how we get a new Black Panther in the MCU. No, he's not going to be the one from our main universe, but with a soft reboot coming up, it looks like that's Marvel's solution to give us a new T'Challa. Because what happens in the comics and what we've seen in other events like Crisis on Infinite Earths is that when the big event is over, when the multiverse is destroyed and the new universe is created, the new universe consists of a lot of different characters from a lot of different universes, which is exactly how we're going to have a main universe consisting of the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Fantastic Four moving forward. Finally. But in a lot of events, when the new universe is formed and now all of these new characters are together, nobody actually remembers the events that happened before. To them, they have been in that universe as long as they can remember. So basically, history is kind of rewritten for them in their own minds. And not just theirs, but to everybody's in that universe. So that would be a pretty, I wouldn't say easy because there's a lot that has to do with the multiverse, but that's a pretty good way to bring in a T'Challa as Black Panther in the MCU, because it really is T'Challa. It's not like it's a knockoff or anything like that. It's actually T'Challa. He just comes from a different universe. But a lot of characters like the X-Men, and even as we've seen recently, the Fantastic Four, are going to come from other universes, but they'll be a part of the main story moving forward after Secret Wars. So that is seemingly how they're going to do this. And as far as what's going to happen to Shuri, who knows? Maybe she takes a step down, lets this new T'Challa, who possibly in her mind might actually be her brother due to the reboot, which I think might happen, but maybe she's one of the characters who doesn't make it past the reboot. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. Now, the second part of that report of the new Avengers team is this. James Mackwell says, in Avengers Doomsday, we will see a team of Avengers formed in the X-Men universe, composed of variants that we know. I've heard about 4 characters who are part of this new Avengers lineup. A variant of Iron Man, a variant of Black Panther, Binary, Maria Rambeau, and Hank Pym, who will be known as Giant in this universe. Now, if this ends up being true in Avengers Doomsday, I actually think this is a really cool idea, showing us a universe where these characters did exist together. The X-Men and the Avengers were in the same universe, just not ours, unfortunately. But that is coming up. But imagine the old X-Men movies that we saw with Professor X and Cyclops and Magneto and Storm, etc. They actually went on to have an Avengers team. We just didn't see it, but it will be cool to see how they interact with each other. And speaking of the actual team, if this is true and Binary / Maria Rambeau is a part of this team, then perhaps what we saw in the post-credit scene for the Marvels, Binary and Hank McCoy, aka Beast, perhaps that is our actual first look of the Avengers of that universe interacting with the X-Men of that universe. And it looks like they're playing nicely with each other, which we've heard might not happen when they make it over to our universe. There's a lot of reports. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I do want to address another character, Iron Man. We've heard reports and rumors, of course nothing confirmed yet, but from the insiders, they've stated that Robert Downey Jr. isn't coming back just to play Doctor Doom, but he will indeed be playing variants of Iron Man, which I think makes a lot of sense. And I think it would be pretty cool to see, actually. But you can let me know what you think about Robert Downey Jr. returning to play an Iron Man variant from the X-Men universe in the comments. Now, as far as Marvel's Hall H at SDCC is concerned, we are not getting one. In a Hollywood Reporter newsletter, Heat Vision, they talked about how they were in attendance of that Fantastic Four First Steps test screening, and they do confirm there was a post-credit scene shown. They state, when the lights went down and the picture came up, audiences were surprised to learn that the Fantastic Four First Steps would be the evening's entertainment. Marvel topper Kevin Feige and director Matt Shakman were in attendance for the movie, which did include a post-credit tag. So for those who have been wondering, I've seen a few comments, if it was actually shown or if it's just some people saying it was shown, confirmed. Unfortunately, in this newsletter, we also hear this. Test screenings aside, Fantastic Four opens the Friday of San Diego Comic-Con, and this year, Marvel will break with tradition and not have its infamous senses-shattering Saturday evening Hall H panel. They state, with Avengers Doomsday pushing out to December 2026, Marvel now has another SDCC before the film's theatrical release. The cast of Avengers Doomsday is currently in production, and it didn't feel like the right timing for a Hall H panel. At least that was the thinking inside the company. Now, if you are attending San Diego Comic-Con, they do state that Marvel is still going to have a really big presence. We aren't getting our Hall H panel for them, but you'll see them a lot on the floor. They say they'll have a really big booth there with a Fantastic Four kind of immersive experience. So if you're going, be sure to check that out. But besides what they stated in this newsletter, which is what we all assumed due to the delays they're not attending San Diego Comic-Con, on top of that, I think they're actually still trying to figure out their release schedule. We just heard Bob Iger isn't pleased with the 2026 release slate, wanting another Marvel movie in there somewhere, which hasn't really been mentioned of if that's going to happen or not. But he's upset that they only have essentially one movie that they fully own the profits to, Avengers Doomsday, while Spider-Man Brand New Day, they don't make as much because they don't own the rights to Spider-Man, Sony does, so Sony gets a pretty big cut. I also think they're still deciding where they want to put Doctor Strange 3, Shang-Chi 2,
Good
Thor
question.
5, maybe a Scarlet Witch project. I think they're deciding what they want right now. And we've heard that they are still working on the script for Avengers Doomsday, which directly affects Avengers Secret Wars, and it also would affect anything that's happening in between. So due to the fact that it seems like the overall multiverse saga story is still being written, that's why they're not going to have a presence this year. They're still trying to figure it out, and I, for one, am personally okay with this. I'd love for them to have a panel and reveal some stuff, but not if it's going to lock them into something they don't want to do. I'd rather them take their time to give us the best possible story ever. The best it can be, at least. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and
Man, listen, what literally just shocked me is when he said that they might gonna bring the variants of Black Panther. Because by the way, Black Panther is also my all-time favorite Marvel superhero character. Second will be Wolverine, and third will be Thor, and of course fourth will be Spider-Man. So yeah, so those are my favorites. So but Black Panther, he's always on my all-time favorite. Which I'm like, to be honest with you, I would love to see it. The variants of Black Panther. Like I want to see it though in Avengers Doomsday. If it's gonna happen, because we in the multiverse saga. Now, if it's gonna happen, I'll be so happy. And alongside with the Supremer Iron Man the variants Iron Man, like, you know, I would love to see Robert Downey Jr. play as the variants of Iron Man. You know, cause like I would love to see that too. If it's gonna happen, they're gonna make it right. They have to make it right. They got to. Instead of like making them like mess things up though, you know, cause like I want to see that happen. Both the variants of Black Panther and Iron Man, you know. So, but they don't know who's gonna play the variants of Black Panther. Cause my guess is saying Killmonger, you know, I say because Killmonger he's a villain, you know. So, but who knows? It might happen in Avengers Doomsday. It might happen, which is supposed to should happen, you know. But I don't know. I don't got nothing else to say though, you know. But you know, first as Fantastic Four, first step, which hits in theaters July 25th, I believe. Apparently, I really just heard some, you know, bad things about it though. But I'm still gonna see it. You know, wait on the, you know, reviews, the fans, you know, if they saw it, cause you know, the premiere and stuff like that, and you know, so I'm keeping a lookout for the Fantastic Four, you know, cause I'm still gonna see it, you know, but like what shocked me and got me hyped up is like both the variants of Black Panther and Iron Man, like might appear in Avengers Doomsday. Like holy cow, like man, cause that just blew my mind. But in any case, comment down below what you got thought about this all the situation of the Avengers Doomsday update of the variants of Iron Man and Black Panther. If you guys are hyped up for it, comment down below what you guys thought about it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. You gotta be safe out there. God bless you all and take care.
This is a certified hood classic.